Welcome to the Madison Motor Podcast. Today is Thursday, December 28th, 2023. Today we're going to recap the college bowl games from yesterday and look ahead to today's bowl games for yesterday, for today. We have college basketball, NBA, NHL, Thursday football pick between the Jets and the Browns, soccer, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with college football. We had 4 bowl games yesterday, and we have 4 more today. All right. Military Bowl, Virginia Tech over Tulane 41-20 in the absolute pouring rain. Mayo Bowl, West Virginia over North Carolina 30-10. Holiday Bowl, USC over number 15 Louisville 42-28. And number 20 Oklahoma State over Texas A&M 31-23. All right, so Vatech finishes 7-6, Tulane 11-3. West Virginia 9-4, UNC 8-5. USC 8-5, Louisville 10-4, and Oklahoma State 10-4, A&M 7-6. All right, an early 11 a.m. game on ESPN. Number 24 SMU against Boston College. My line for this is SMU by 4.5, total 56.25. Obviously, the quarterback from SMU is injured. They're still favored by 10.5, totals 47.5. That's crazy. But I would take Boston College in the spread Bulls pool from a spread standpoint. But I'm giving out the over as my pick. I think this is a high-scoring game. 2:15 Pinstripe Bowl, Rutgers, Miami. So a little bit of a home advantage for Rutgers, being at Yankee Stadium. Not even 50 miles, which is crazy. My line is Miami by 1. Total of 48 and 9/10. And Rutgers is actually favored by 2.5 in this game. Total is 41.5. I love the over in that game. Love it. Both those teams are getting to the 20s. 5:45 on ESPN, the Pop-Tarts Bowl, number 18 NC State, number 25 Kansas State. So the first bowl game between 2 ranked teams. So this should be fun. From Orlando, my line is NC State by 3, total 53. And it's Kansas State 2.5, total 47.5. So this is a hard one. So 5.5 point edge on NC State. And the same number edge on the over. I might give out so many overs. So I'm going to change it up. I'm going to take NC State plus the points and plus 106. And a great game, the Alamo Bowl, number 14 Arizona, number 12 Oklahoma, 9:15 on ESPN from San Antonio. Mine's Arizona by 2, total 16 3/10. And it's 1.5 and 59.5. Very close. Half-point edge on Zona, and over a half point on the over. Zona money line minus 120 is a little rich, but I would give that out. But for the sake of the show, I'm going to give out slight over, and then the second pick would be Zona minus 120 just to win. Alrighty. Now we'll recap last night's college basketball games and look ahead to today's games, and there's only 19 of them. So there was only 3 last night. Grand Canyon over Bethesda 124-74, Virginia over Morgan State 79-44, and Cal Baptist over Chicago State 74-62. And now we look ahead to tonight's slate, 7 o'clock, Central Arkansas number 12. Oklahoma. My line for this is Oklahoma by 24, total 146 and 9/20. And we have here 29.5 and 146.5. I'm taking Central plus the points. You can skip Fort Valley State, Jacksonville State, and College of Biblical Studies, Texas Southern. So we have some Horizon League action. Oakland, Cleveland State. My line is Cleveland State by 7, total 145 and 13/20. And we have 2.5 and 145.5. I'm going to lay the 2.5 for Cleveland State. Big Tower, Coppin State, Maryland. My line's Maryland 33.5, total 132.5, and it is 30.5 and 127.5. Over. Albany, LIU. For some reason, I cannot find this game. So I have LIU. I'm sorry. Wait a second. Albany by 4 3/4, total 147, and it's 9.5 and 153.5. I'm going to take the under. Sam Houston, Texas Tech at 8 o'clock. My line is Tech 18.5, total 142.25. It's 17.5 and 140.5. Slide over. Prairie View and UTSA. My line is UTSA by 9.25, total 151 and 20th, and it's 2.5 and 149.5. I'll lay the points. Turner State, Bradley, Skip. Little Rock 10 Tech at 8:30. My line is Tech by 3.25, total 150 and 7/10. And it's Little Rock 1.5, total 152.5. I'm taking 10 Tech plus the points and -5 outright. 10 Martin and 10 State. My line is State 4.5, total 157 and 20th, and it is 4.5 and 161.5. Under. All right, 9 o'clock on ESPN2, USC, Oregon. My line's Oregon 2.5, total 150 3/4. And it's 2.5 and 148.5. Very close. Over. UC Santa Barbara and UC Davis. My line is Barbara by 2.25, total 145 and 11/20. And it's 2.5 and 145.5. Very, very close. Slight lean UC Davis in the points. Montana, Weber State. My line's Weber by 4.25, total 134 and 1/5. And it's 4.5 and 132.5. Slight over. Montana State, Idaho State. My line is Idaho State by 3, total 137 and 17/20, and it is 1.5 and 135.5. Over. Sac State, Idaho. My line is Pick'em and 142 and 17/20, and it's 3.5 and 139.5, and 3.5 in favor of Idaho. So this is a tough one. I'm going to go with Sac State plus the points, the cover. Portland State, Eastern Washington. My line is Portland State 1.5, total 144 and 13/20, and it's Eastern Washington 2.5, total 149.5. Under. Although the Portland State side is tempting. 122 on the money line, by the way, plus 122. 10 o'clock, Pac-12 Network, UCLA, Oregon State. My line is UCLA 1.25, total 136 and 1/10. And Oregon State is a 6.5 point underdog, total 127.5. Oof. I want to take State plus the points plus 240 outright, but the pick's going to be the over for the show. Northridge, Cal Poly. My line is Northridge 4.25, total 142 and 3/5. And it's 4.5 and 140.5. Over. Bakersfield and UC San Diego. My line San Diego by 5 3/4, total 140 and 7/20. And it is 7.5 and 133.5. Over. Long Beach State and Cal State Fullerton. My line is Long Beach State 3.25, so 144 and 7/10. It is 2.5 and 144.5. Very close, but slightly in the Long Beach State. And last but not least, UC Riverside, UC Irvine. Line's Irvine 8.5, to 141 and 11/20, and it is 10.5 and 130. 8.5 over for that one. Now we'll go over the NBA from last night and look ahead to today's games. We have 8 tonight. Sixers killed the Magic 112-92 without Joel Embiid. That's pretty impressive. Raptors over the Wizards 132-102. Bucks over the Nets 144-122. Suns over the Rockets 129-113. That's a nice win for them. Thunder over the Knicks 129-120. And the Cavs come back from 20 down to beat the Mavs 113-110. Now we look ahead to the slate for tonight. 7:30 NBA TV. Pistons Celtics. The Celtics obviously should win this game. The Pistons are trying to avoid war history, which it will be very, very hard to do at TD Garden. The Celtics are giving 17, totals 229.5, and I have it 16 3/4, total 230 and 120. Holy crap, is that very close? I'm going to go slight over. 8 o'clock, Pacers, Bulls. Mine's Pacers by 7, total 236 and 9/10, and it's 2 and 241.5. That is extremely low. I am going to lay the 2 with Indiana on the road. Mavs Thunder. Or Timberwolves, my apologies. Mine's T-Wolves by 13.5, total 225 and 7/20, and it is I don't see a line for Mavs T-Wolves yet. I guess there's some speculation about a Luka injury. No Kyrie, obviously. But yeah, I do not see a line anywhere here. So just yeah, I don't see it anywhere. But yeah, 13.5 and 225 and 7/20 is my projection. But if I see it later on, I'll inform you guys. Jazz Pels. Mine's Pels by 8, total 230 and 19/20. And it is 8.5 and 238. Under. Grizz Nuggets. My line is Nuggets by 5 1/4, total 222.5. If Ja plays, or I'm sorry, if Ja doesn't play, I have it 8 1/4. And it's 7.5 and 224.5. So if Ja plays, I'm taking the Grizzlies. If Ja doesn't play, I'm taking the under. Simple as that. NBA TV's 10 o'clock Heat Warriors. Mine's Warriors by 3/4, so 229 and 320. So two teams that were in the NBA Finals over the past 2 seasons. It's 2.5 and 227.5. This is a hard one. So I'll do slight lean to the Heat plus 2.5. Spurs Blazers. My line is Blazers 1.5, total 228 and 3/4, and it's 4 and 232.5. Under because of the Blazers injuries, and then 10:30 Hornets Lakers. Minus Lakers by a whopping 22 and 3/4, total 229 and 3/4. If Anthony Davis doesn't play, 16 and 3/4. If LeBron doesn't play, 17 and 1/4. If neither of them play, it will be 11 and 1/4. Right now it's 13.5 and 227. So right now I'm laying it with the Lakers. But if neither of them play, I'll take Charlotte. Or the over, actually, would be good. But I would prefer Charlotte, the cover, if neither of the guys play. But I would have, in theory, a larger edge on the over than Charlotte if LeBron and AD. So if LeBron and AD don't play over, if they do play, I'm laying the points. And if one of them plays, I'm laying the points. So there's your basketball. Now we'll recap the NHL games from last night and look ahead to the games for tonight. Rangers over the Caps 5-1. Sens over the Leafs 4-2. So that's a pretty big upset. Panthers over the Lightning 3-2. Devils over the Blue Jackets 4-3 in OT on a game winner by Timo Meier. Bruins over the Sabres 4-1. Good bounce back for them. Pens over the Isles 7-0. Very impressive win for Pittsburgh. Blues over the Stars 2-1. Canes over the Preds 5-2. Wild over the Red Wings 6-3. Blackhawks over the Jets 2-1 in OT on a game winner by Connor Bedard. It was a highlight reel goal. Coyotes come back from 4-0 down to beat the Avalanche 5-4 in OT on a game-winning goal by Jack McBain. Kraken over the Flames 2-1, so best bet loses. Ducks over the Golden Knights 5-2. And the Kings beat the Sharks 5-1. All right, only 4 games tonight. 1 East Coast game and 3 West Coast games. Talk about weird. 7 o'clock, Habs Canes. Canes minus 250, Habs plus 202, over under 6.5, overs plus 110, unders minus 134. Habs plus 1.5 is minus 120, Canes minus 1.5 is even money. I'm going Canes puck line. They need the game, and they should win this game by multiple goals. 10 o'clock, Flyers Canucks. Canucks minus 156, Flyers plus 130, over under 6.5. Overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 178. Canucks minus 1.5 is plus 146. I like the over in that game. Kings Golden Knights. Vegas minus 175, Kings plus 104, over under 6.5, overs plus 114, unders minus 140. Kings plus 1.5 is minus 235, Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 190. I'm going to take the Kings as an outright upset, only because the Golden Knights are just littered with injuries right now. And 10:30, Oilers Sharks. Oilers minus 350, Sharks plus 275, over under 6.5, overs minus 164, unders plus 134. Oilers minus 1.5 is minus 146, Sharks plus 1.5 is plus 122. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with the ballsy pick. I'm going to go over 7 goals, minus 106. Flat line over for hockey. How do you like that for a pick that I gave you guys? Now we will preview and predict tonight's Thursday night football game between the Jets and the Browns. A ton of injuries on both sides. Obviously, these teams are on like their third string quarterbacks. Well, the Browns are on their fourth quarterback. The Jets are on their fourth as well. And not really in terms of string of performance. I'd say Simeon's the number 3. And then Flacco has probably played the best of the Browns quarterbacks this year, amazingly enough. Outside of Deshaun Watson, the 1 week against the Ravens. But Deshaun's still better than Flacco, like, just in general. And then Dwayne Brown, Connor McGovern, Elijah Vera Tucker, Wilson Conklin, obviously. Potentially Amari Cooper. We'll see about that one. Which would be absolutely crazy and a big blow for the Browns offense. But the bad thing for the Browns here is that they're down their kicker, Dustin Hopkins. And they're probably going to be down their punter, Corey Bajorkis. Not easy to win without your kicker and your punter. Just guys have every other team in the league. Low-key, very important positions. Especially if the replacement isn't as good as the guy that got injured. But anyway, my line's Browns by 8, total 40 and the 20th. And we have the Browns giving 7.5, totals 34.5. I like the over, despite all the injuries. I just think that number is extremely low. Maybe the Jets get a defensive touchdown or something, or special teams touchdown. I mean, I could see that with the Browns punter being out, like block punt for a touchdown. Like, this is just banking on the Jets special teams or defense doing something. Maybe even the Browns special teams and defense doing something as well. Because no zero line potentially for the Jets. So, I really do like the over. I'm going to say the Browns win something like 23-16 or something like that. I think that is going to be a higher scoring game than people expected. This total reminds me so much of the Patriots-Steelers total from a couple of weeks ago that the over hit at halftime. I absolutely adore the over in this game. Okay, now we'll move on to soccer. We will go over results from yesterday and look ahead to games for today. We'll start in the Premier League. Wolves over Brentford 4-1, Chelsea over Crystal Palace 2-1, and Man City over Everton 3-1. And in 2 games today, Brighton-Tottenham. Brighton is in 9th, and Tottenham is in 5th. I think Tottenham is significantly the better team. And they're only plus 150. Brighton's home. They're plus 160. The draw's plus 280. I'm going to go Tottenham plus 150 on the road. And at 3:15, we have Arsenal and West Ham. Arsenal's 2nd. West Ham 7th in the league. Arsenal's a big favorite, minus 310. West Ham is 8-1. And the draw is plus 460. I think this is an over game. I like over 3.5 goals at plus 136. Scottish Premiership results. Aberdeen and Motherwell, as well as Rangers Ross County, are both postponed. Livingston St. Johnstone 0-0 draw. Kilmarnock over St. Mirren 1-0, and Hearts over Hibernian 1-0. I'm just checking to see if you have other results to talk about. Let's check Portuguese Primeira Liga. We do have a game, 3:15. Estrela and Aruca. Estrela is in 9th. And Aruca is in 14th. I'm just going to pull up the odds. Aruca's plus 150. Estrela's plus 170. The draw's plus 210. I like the draw here at plus 210. I think these two teams are pretty even. And then the Saudi Pro League, we have 2 this morning, 10 o'clock, Al Itikfaq and Al Hazim and Al Riyah and Damak. I'm going to say the first game's a draw, Hazem and Itikfaq. And DeMock wins going away. They've been hot of late with the streak that they have been on. So more soccer, obviously, tomorrow. Serie A returns tomorrow. We have other soccer to get into tomorrow as well. We'll do news and notes. Really quickly. So we talked about earlier West Virginia winning the Mayo Bowl as Neil Brown got the Mayo shower. Love to see that, whoever wins the Mayo Bowl. So the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists list came out. Among those, Devin Hester, Antonio Gates, Julius Peppers, so a couple of former Chicago Bears on there, and obviously the great tight end from the Chargers. Reggie Wayne, former Colts receiver. Andre Johnson, former Texans receiver. Former Rams receiver, Torrey Holt. Jared Allen, he bounced around a little bit. He was mostly with the Vikings. Early on in his career, he was with the Chiefs. Then later in the career, Bears and Panthers. Eric Allen, former Eagle. Willie Anderson, former Bengals lineman. Jaree Evans, former Super Bowl champ with the Saints. Dwight Freeney, notable on the Peyton Manning Colts teams. Rodney Harrison, former Charger and Patriot safety. And obviously Peppers played on the Panthers as well early on in his career. Fred Taylor, former Jaguars running back and Patriots for a couple years. Former 49ers linebacker Patrick Willis. And former Cowboys safety Darren Woodson. So there's your Hall of Fame finalists. So the biggest story in sports today that came down, Russell Wilson benched for Jarrett Stidham. This was reported minutes after it was reported that they may bench him for financial flexibility in the offseason. And then Schefter reported it officially 16 minutes after Ian Rappaport did. But how about this? The Broncos could owe Russell Wilson $85 million if he gets cut. As Denver would take huge dead money. Huge. But yeah, I think the front office forced this with Sean Payton. And unpopular opinion, Russell Wilson has been a top half of the NFL quarterback this year, considering how many bad quarterbacks we've seen. And guess what? He's been better than the guy that replaced him in Seattle this year, that's for sure. I don't think Geno Smith's been that good this year. Geno Smith's been a top half quarterback, but I think Russell Wilson's been better. That's just my opinion. Like, I've watched a lot of Broncos this year, and Wilson certainly played a lot better this year than last year, and I feel like Geno Smith is somebody who's regressed from last year, like I brought up on my podcast recently. So, going to be interesting to see what happens here with Denver and Russell Wilson. You're going to be seeing a lot of highly paid quarterbacks get cut within the next years. Him, Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, maybe, dare I say, Jared Goff if the Lions bow out early and they flop next year. Like, I mean, Cousins is a free agent, so that doesn't count. But there's a lot of guys that could be cut or traded within the next year or two. Obviously, Geno Smith's another one. Yeah, so Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. I mean, I wouldn't even rule out Goff, depending on how this Lions season ends and how next season is for them. But Cousins is a free agent. Tannehill is going to get cut by Tennessee. Or wait, he might be a free agent too. I don't know. So, and then obviously some of these backup guys like Trubisky and who knows, maybe Tyrod Taylor. But something to keep an eye on. Oh, Zach Wilson, duh. So, keep an eye on, like, quarterback movement this offseason. It's going to be huge. And it's going to be crazier than you ever seen. And then Geno Smith tweeted on the Russell Wilson situation. He tweets, free 3. Interesting. Deebo Samuel calls out Cam and Micah as he didn't hold back after criticism of Brock Purdy. So, of course, Deebo Samuel goes off and Micah Parsons goes off. And then people are just ridiculous with stalking of liked tweets or liked posts on the X app. Apparently Russell Wilson liked the post comparing his stats to Mahomes's. And Mahomes hasn't been Mahomes this year. That's just reality of the situation. Is it his fault? No. But he just hasn't been Mahomes this year. Like, Brock Purdy's had a better season than Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is clearly a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is a B-level quarterback playing on an A-level for most of the year. And Patrick Mahomes is an A-plus quarterback playing like a B-level quarterback this year. So, quarterback play kind of matters more than the quarterback itself. And I say that on the podcast a lot. Jair Alexander made some bizarre comments in the postgame, and it was going viral after the team suspended him. Ramondre Stevenson out for the year, ankle injury. We talked about earlier, Amari Cooper, questionable heel injury. Jaden Waddle may play on Sunday, as his ankle injury isn't overly severe, so that's good that Waddle may play. How about C.J. Stroud expected to practice, a step close to returning for Houston? That is wonderful news there. Tyrod Taylor will start against the Rams for the Giants, probably the right call, because he's clearly better than Tommy DeVito. Tommy DeVito, cute story, but he got exposed against the Saints and then the Eagles, obviously, too. But Tyrod's just better than DeVito. And the reason why DeVito got the opportunity was because Tyrod Taylor got injured. Jim Harbaugh evades NFL rumors as he avoids question about Chargers vacancy. And then The Athletic reported, speaking of Russell Wilson, they're likely to part ways with him in March. And that, obviously, I brought up a little bit ago in the segment talking about all these quarterbacks that could be on different teams within the next 2 years. So, basketball news. The NBA approves the Mavericks sale as Mark Cuban officially gives up controlling interest in Mavs to the Adelson and Dumont families. It's absolutely crazy. This is obviously a big deal. Mark Cuban, I felt, was one of the better and more vocal and present owners we've had in the league. He obviously has a ring as an owner, which matters. He's just somebody that's been risky. He's somebody that is well known. And it's surprising that he is really pretty much not doing this anymore. Although it was reported that he will be around, but he won't have final say, which is crazy. The Pistons are targeting free agents. OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Tobias Harris, and Miles Bridges. Come on. Like, why is this coming out right now? The Pistons stink. They've lost 27 straight games. And, like, come on. Like, they're acting like the Knicks when the Knicks were awful a couple years ago. Like, and the Pistons, like, I get it. They have Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. But neither of those guys have proven that they're franchise-level players. We thought that about Cade, but maybe he's just a really good player rather than a franchise player. Like, Jalen Brunson's better than Cade Cunningham right now. And I'd rather have Jalen Brunson than Cade Cunningham for the next couple years. And that's something I never would have thought I would have said a year ago. But here we are. Jeez. Gabe Vincent underwent knee surgery, reevaluated in 8 weeks. He's barely played for the Lakers this year. Obviously, it was their big free agent ticket signing. Hasn't really worked out yet with the injuries. Aaron Gordon was bitten by a dog, as he will remain away from the team as he recovers from hand and face lacerations. Yikes. That sucks for Aaron Gordon, and hopefully he gets well soon. Zion Williamson has a new chest tattoo, which didn't really care for it. It's just a tattoo. But a lot of people are going nuts about it. Holy crap. More than 20 players from Florida State opted out of the bowl game. Which is crazy. I wonder if this is like some protest because they didn't make the playoff. But they do have a lot of guys going to the draft, including wide receiver Keon Coleman, who is probably going to be a first-round pick. Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton opts out of the bowl game, as former 5-star quarterback Nico Ayamaleva will get the start. And he's rated as a very good pocket passer. Maybe he'll get people excited. So Damani Jackson, 5-star cornerback who's transferring from USC. The two schools that are the favorites for him are two teams that are playing each other on New Year's Day in the college football playoff, Michigan and Alabama. Baseball news. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, news conference was today. Dodgers introduced him. And he says he probably would have ended up with the Dodgers even if Shohei didn't sign. So that's crazy. And he said that winning was a big factor in this. So baseball free agents are picking their teams like they're NBA free agents nowadays. Like Ohtani and obviously Yamamoto ends up with the Dodgers. Judge stays with the Yankees. So, like, it just shows that winning matters and money does matter, but not like it used to be. Like, Yamamoto, like, the Mets offered the same amount as the Dodgers, and Yamamoto picked the Dodgers because they're a consistent winner and the Mets are not. And the Blue Jays signed former Yankee Isaiah Kiner-Falefa on a 2-year, $15 million deal on... did not expect IKF to get a multi-year deal. I feel like he'll be somebody that contributes against the Yankees, but I also feel like he's going to be somebody that the Blue Jays are probably going to overrate a little bit because he had some clutch moments on the Yankees the last couple years. So we'll see if that signing works out. So I think the jury's out on that one. So there you have it for the news and notes. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel, as we mentioned earlier in the show. best bet was a loser with the what's that? Oh, the Flames Kraken over. So I'm only gonna lay a tenth of a unit on best bet today. I'm just gonna make it simple. I like the over in the Jet game. Like, I understand it's Flacco and Simeon, but the Jets put up a lot of points against Washington. The Browns' defense is not the Browns' defense from earlier in the year. They're worse because of the injuries. I'm going to do a tenth of a unit on over 34.5 between the Jets and the Browns for best bet, just making it easy. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with a monster show. The last show of 2023 will be tomorrow. We have the college football playoff games to preview and pick. We have Fab 5. A lot to do, so we're looking forward to it. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.